Hey team, Eddie and Justin here from the Train the Muscle series. It's podcast 2. Really excited from our last podcast, Justin. I've got lots of questions that are coming from people about your training program, benefits of it, and we're also going to talk about how we're going to incorporate some more isolation and sport-specific training into the second 4-week block. So really exciting episode. But I thought I'd get to the questions first, just to get the ball rolling. Now, we didn't mention in the last podcast about stretching and the importance of it before training. Now, firstly, are we stretching before training, after training? How long and why? And are we incorporating cardio before we're doing stretching? So I'll just leave that up to you. That's a few questions there. So just because I've had it quite a bit, so I want to know your thoughts.
And this is a big one. Like, there's a lot of info out there that stretching before decreases strength, blah 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 blah. So, you coming from a rugby background, you always, before you started training, ran around the field.
Round the field, yep.
And then you do your stretching.
Blood flow going, absolutely.
So look, stretching beforehand is going to increase your range throughout the workout. So that's going to enable greater muscle activation, greater movement throughout the workout, greater mobility, less likely to injure yourself.
It actually increases protein synthesis too, because your muscle can uptake more.
Yes, correct. But the problem is you don't just go into a stretch. So you'll see on my programs, we've actually start with a 3 out of 10. So that's a really light stretch.
Okay.
And we're talking about holding these for 30 to 45 seconds. None of this 8 to 10 second stuff you're taught in school.
Yeah.
Sit there, relax, hold it, and then, 3 sets. Like you would do an exercise, you're going to do a set at 3 out of 10, then you're going to increase to 5 out of 10. So you're warming up. Yep. Like you said before, cardio, walking on a treadmill or even walking to the gym or something like that would be great beforehand as well.
Would you prefer that?
Definitely, to get some blood in there first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I say, the approach of starting light is not going to be a problem. Sure. You just don't go in there and jump into a full-on stretch, you know?
Sure. Once again, why I love this program, Justin, you got a comment section here, which is obviously going to be a downloadable PDF at the end of the series, which actually explains how to do this tension. Now, on a normal program, it's just going to say stretch. Yeah. And you're going to go as hard as you can and stretch as far as you can, which then can cause problems.
The most stress you can put on a muscle is actually the stretch. So if you go on hard stretch, you're going to get DOMS just like you would from a workout, and then you're not going to be able to train. So
which always makes me wonder how yoga people aren't sore.
Well, you talk to anybody that does yoga the first time, their whole body is sore as hell.
Yeah, I don't know because I've never done yoga. So I can't
oh, come on, mate! I thought you were a guru.
But we've got one from Gareth here, who's a 20-year-old male from Brisbane. And he's wanting to know, and it's a pretty generalised question because everyone's genetics are obviously different. We talk about genetics all the time. Mm-hmm. What sort of muscle growth could he expect if he ate in a surplus of calories of say 500? What does he say? 500 calories above surplus for a 12-week period.
What sort of gains
can he expect? Yeah, what sort of gains can he expect? He's a hard gainer as well, so he's saying that he finds it hard to put on weight, but he's 500 calories over his.
So if he's generally quite a skinny person and has been his whole life, then he is typically that hard gainer.
Yep.
Eating 500 calories, that's a very broad question. It would be more like the type of calories as well. The way he is, he's basically, if you picture his body, is like
I forgot to mention he's never trained before either. Okay. So he's got potential to grow.
No, he will. And look, anybody will get that growth initially. Sure. But being a hard gainer, his body's like a furnace. You put carbs into it, it's like throwing petrol on a fire. Yes. It's not going to do anything. Yeah, he needs some high calorie fats, some good caloric density in there, and then yes, of course he can. He can
like avocado and
avocado, eggs, nuts, oils, all those things.
I couldn't agree more with you on that. I personally, and once again, it comes down to, and we'll talk about this later on when the series becomes like further advanced, about trying diets for your own genetic potential, because we're not all created equal. Yeah. So on to the next one. I've got Diane, who's a 40-year-old woman from Tamworth, and she's wondering how much she could gain in the 12 weeks, because she says that she needs lean muscle tissue because she finds it hard to put on weight. She's quite skinny.
Look, to put it, it's hard to put an exact number on how much she will.
Very broad questions.
Yes, but will she get improvement? Absolutely. Will she see improvement? Absolutely. Like moving from the first stage to building, like I say, you can get stronger at a bench press without doing a bench press. Creating movement, learning movement, muscles learning to contract. Sure. You're going to get benefits. So as you progress into each part of the track, you're going to see progression. You're going to see whether it's in weight, whether it's in range of motion, whether it's the faster you recover.
Yeah, and talk about the other benefits, like decreased chances of joint pain, osteoporosis, all this sort of stuff, by weight training. So, at that age, at 40, if you start, you can reverse those sort of things happening to you.
Like I've got clients that I've got a male client that's 67 years old, And like he went for a DEXA scan, his bone density is awesome, because the good thing about weight training is the calcium left behind from muscle contractions actually gets reabsorbed into the bone and increases bone density.
Oh, that's awesome information.
So that one...
I love that, because anyone who's older and thinks they can't weight train, it's not beneficial for them, should have just listened to that sentence you just said.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Look, I've got 2 other females that are training, that are on a list to get a hip operation, that are still able to do movements, and that their body has improved since doing these movements, even when they need a brand new hip, you know?
Wow, that's amazing. All right, mate, so those are the questions. Those are just a couple that because they were quite, I had a young male and an older female, but we had some really broad questions, mate. So I just, all right, so the benefits, so in this next 4-week block, so we've got that foundation, it's pretty basic, hey guys, these are the exercises you start when you're starting out, all compounds. We're moving more into the isolation sort of part of it, looking to, target specific muscle groups for growth. You want to talk about what an isolation exercise, we explained compound last time, what is isolation?
Yep, so like I say, using the example I used last time, a bench press, when we're coming down, we're going to be flexing the elbow and the shoulder. So we're using all the muscles associated with moving the shoulder, we're using all the muscles associated with the elbow. So if we do an isolation like a chest fly, where we're only moving at the shoulder, we're only moving the muscles associated with the shoulder. Sure. Same thing, this debunking thing that we love to do so much.
Debunk.
Talking about a deadlift exercise. People saying a deadlift is a back exercise. Now the only actual part of your physique or body that moves when you do a deadlift is actually your hips.
Yes.
So it is the muscles associated with the
correctly.
hips. Sorry, ankles, knees, and hips.
Yes.
Your back isn't actually flexing or contracting or anything. So, but there is tension going up through your arms, down through your back, and onto your arse and legs. So yes, you will feel it in that position.
Yes.
So same thing with the isolation. There will be work in the bicep, but the isolation is purely here.
Yeah, and isolation exercises, because we've talked about sport-specific training. Yep. Now there's isolation exercises of sport-specific training, isn't there? Because we're going to have a lot of people doing this series who want to get back into sport, who want to start sport, and you want to talk something about how the way you actually, I've seen you change exercise on a lot of your Instagram videos to help people in sport-specific stuff. You've got a Commonwealth Games lifter at the moment?
Yeah, I do nutrition. I don't train him, but I do his nutrition. Yep. But very much the same. He's got his own trainer and a soft tissue guy that does work with him. But in terms of sport, look, really, in terms of say you're a strength and conditioning coach, the condition work for a sports player should come from the sport. Yep. I'm not going to get a rugby player, especially a back or a winger. You're a winger. Yep. I'm not going to get you in and make you do sprints. No. Your sprint training was pretty intrusive as it was. I'm not going to get you.
There's no need for extras.
No. So what I'm going to focus on, say, is depending on how you run, how you step, whatever. We look at that and then we go, okay, you're using a lot of quad work when you're doing these exercises. Your training with rugby is a lot of quad work. We're going to do a lot of posture work. So flip that, come back to that word balance. Yep. We're going to do a lot of glute work. We're going to do a lot of hamstring work that'll transfer into that sport.
It's funny, I remember when I lived in New Zealand a long time ago, and we had a trainer called Keith Roberts. He was a New Zealand Sevens coach. Yep. Trainer at the time. And he would make me get on this a flat-seated leg press, and just push it with my arm. So we're doing fends. No, seriously. Yeah. And it was just a fending movement. Yeah. And then, but I was a right winger, so I'd fend with my left. Yeah. But he would always make me use the other arm as well. Yeah. He goes, Eddie, you don't know when you're ever going to cut inside and use the other arm. So that's a real basic example of something that is just like a movement you use every day in rugby. And he's doing it at different angles. So we're not just doing straight, we're going sideways, we're going backwards, we're going down, all sorts of stuff. So
I mean, obviously, we're still, like we say, come back to that sort of try and make the body work in straight planes of movement. Same in rugby, obviously, as soon as you get in those awkward angles, that's where the knees and things take it.
But why I mention that is because that foundation of training we did in the first 4 weeks is the power that helps drive the next lot.
100%.
You know what I mean? So it's all tying in.
Definitely.
And that's what I wanted to talk about, how building that foundation ties into you go to the next level, and then we'll go to the next level again, and then you can see where you're at from there. But, and it's all intertwined to, see where you're at. And if you still want to stay, intermediate, you can. Yeah. But if you want to go to the next level, great. 100%. I always would. So now, obviously, body science. Yep. That's who I work for. Yep. Love the company. You're one of our favourite athletes. Yep. We want to talk a lot, really, about the adding supplements to a regime. How much is too much? What's enough? What should we look for? A starter pack, an intermediate pack, how much more you can take when you're more advanced. Yeah. So we'll quickly just go, so now we're at the intermediate stage. I'm not expecting anyone to, get a massive supplement stack in the first 4 weeks. No. But once you go intermediate and you're breaking down a lot more muscle tissue, getting a bit more isolation exercises, it's where supplements become very, very important, not only to gain muscle, but for recovery to get back in the gym quicker. Because you've still got the 4 days a week here. but it's still more advanced. So you're actually going to, you know, be a bit sore. So
well, like I say, the increases in the blocks. The second block is it's not so much it's adding that isolation, but it's also upping the intensity.
Yes.
Even in less reps, but working harder in those sets. You know, as you get to your third set.
Intensity, I want to talk about this product because we both used it intra workout.
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't use anything.
Reason I mentioned that product, obviously, we want to protect muscle tissue while we're training through the branch chains, but the better alanine content. Now, talking about, you know, the buildup of lactic acid, but doing especially isolation exercises is huge. So,
look, so this product, I love this product for a couple of reasons. It has got essential aminos as well as your branch chain aminos, so it's a well balanced product. The other great thing about it that makes it such a good intra workout is the electrolytes. It's got all 4 electrolytes in it, so really good for rehydration. And then the beta alanine, like you were saying, beta alanine and creatine are probably the most studied supplements, and they really work.
And creatine by country mile. I actually said this the other night. There's actually been $40 billion spent on creatine research since it came out. $40 billion.
And going back to that athlete that I do nutrition with, using and because Body Science stuff is sports tested as well.
Please don't forget that. It's got the HASTA testing on it, so definitely good for sport, so you're not going to any trouble there.
But yeah, coming back to that, the beta alanine and the creatine, in terms of getting more from your muscle, in terms of getting the faster, even noticeably within the first to the third set, your strength can stay a lot higher. The endurance is a lot higher. It acts as a lactic acid buffer. So yeah, great intra-workout product.
Moving on, probably the most, you know, the one that scares people most, pre-workouts and thermogenics. Now, I know the benefits. You know the benefits. Used correctly and safely, these can be an amazing tool. If you just want to talk about how you would incorporate that into this program for someone.
See, this product is, like you said, it's a thermo, and thermos have had terrible name. You know, in the past they were highly.
You know what? With rightfully so, because some of them have just been OTT.
Oh, definitely, and even a lot of pre-workouts of today they're based on caffeine and super high caffeine. And that brings us to a cortisol problem, which we'll address later on as well. But this product, so obviously it is a thermo, but it is a great pre-workout as well. It's a lot lower in caffeine than a lot of the pre-workouts.
3 different sources. So you got 1/3 synthetic, 1/3 guarana, 1/3 green tea extract, which hits you at different times, meaning you get a smoother ride throughout your workout. It doesn't hit you bang smack in the face. Then you've got the acetyl-L-carnitine and the tyrosine to help with focus while you're training. Tyrosine helps bring down crash post-workout. You've got a good appetite suppressant in there. You've got chromopicolinate to regulate blood sugar levels. But that acetyl-L-carnitine, like not only for focus, but transporting fat while you're training. Now, people think they can't use a thermo and still gain muscle, which is definitely not true.
It's absolutely not true. So this, like we say, it's great, and it has the mood enhancement in there as well.
Exactly.
It's a product that actually really makes you feel good. It helps you perform for work. It helps you perform for anything. So I use this either a scoop in the morning, and that's something I do religiously. But you can use it also a scoop right before training.
A scoop of shred. Not a good person to be around, actually.
You can. You take one scoop, and suddenly the world's a sunnier place.
Yeah, well, you use it, I use it. You know, apparently people who lift weights don't use thermos, but definitely not true. Debunk that. Now, I want to talk, but that's not saying you can't add creatine or anything like that. You want
100%.
to do, like you're an alchemist.
We've got another pre-workout in the range that is a bit more for that, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, protein, not specifically hydroxybenylene 5, talk to me about the benefits of protein in growing lean muscle tissue, which is obviously the goal in this program.
Yep, so there's some good points about protein that have been, like, obviously we need it because protein is responsible for every cell in the body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hair, eyes, skin, everything. Muscle, of course, that's what we're interested in here. But the other thing is not going berserk too. So getting a really good quality protein and getting it at the right time is key here. So something like the Lean 5. I mean, the Lean 5 is balanced. It's got different speeds, different digestion rates, different types of protein, which is really great. It's got digestive enzymes in it, which is another good one to help actually utilise the protein.
That product's actually a prebiotic that feeds probiotics as well. So gut health, very, very big issue at the moment.
We will talk about nutrition.
It's our second brain. So, alrighty. Now, obviously, and nutrition. So that's why I want to lead on from the protein. How many, and once again, this is going to be so variable with genetics. How many grams per kilo body weight should, you know, a male, female be having? Like, it's so broad, isn't it? Because, you know, once again, comes down to training intensity, how long, you know, genetics. So, you know, how does someone seek that information out?
Look, I mean, internet's obviously, it helps you as much as it doesn't help you. If you've got an issue and you look it up on Google, you'll find the bad answer you want to find. Likewise with the right answer. So protein, it can vary basically from even half to 1 gram per kilo of body weight up to 3,
Yes.
4 to 5 maybe. But I find with protein, you'll get that balance somewhere around the 2 to 3.
I'm 3. I'm definitely 3.
Look,
but
some
yeah.
people can work better, and again, using a protein that has digestive enzyme pre-probiotics,
Yes.
you're going to get more utilisation, and then you can have a little bit more.
So, but your best tool, honestly, is a pen and a paper and writing down your weight at the beginning of the week, how you feel, how your calories went, and getting tested properly, with calipers or whatever it may be from your trainer, because taking notes, knowing how diet works for you and how supplements work for you is your best tool.
And a lot of people are scared of, and they've been, protein's a really safe nutrient. It's one that you can have a lot of, and it's one that's not really going to hurt you weight-wise.
Yep.
People have bad stories. They're scared of fats, which is totally wrong. As you know, you love fats. You're a big fan of the fats, and so am I. Like sometimes I can have 200 grams of fat, and they're awesome. And the same with carbs. And the thing is, keeping your protein in check and not going berserk with your protein. It's there for a reason, so you can have a little bit more carbs and a little bit more fats and have a balanced diet. Get all your nutrients.
Perfect. So don't be afraid of food in like with this this program, because you need the food to grow. So Justin, we're going to wrap that up, because next week we're going to talk about goal setting, and I want to talk about the nutrition and goal setting, what to go for moving forward, the next level. Once people get to week 12, where from there. Some people might want to compete, and they don't want to play sport again. So once again, thanks for your time, man. You're a myriad of knowledge. I love talking to you.
Great to be here,
We'll debunk
mate.
some more myths next time.
Of course.
Have some more questions
course.
for you, buddy.
Yep,
all right.
no
Thanks very much, guys. See you later.